Chapter 6. The Number 1. O descendant of Bharata, see wonders in numbers, unseen before. Within my body, O good Akiza, see today the whole universe, including everything movable and immovable, all in one. Bhagavad Gita. The sacredness of numbers begins with the great first, the one, and ends only with the naught or zero, symbol of the infinite and boundless circle which represents the universe. All the intervening figures, in whatever combination, or however multiplied, represent philosophical ideas, from vague outlines down to a definitely established scientific axiom, relating either to a moral or a physical fact in nature. Isis Unveiled, Blavatsky. As we have said elsewhere, all even numbers are mundane and pertain to the physical plane, while all odd numbers are divine. They contain something which cannot be measured by the two forces, positive and negative, always operative on the physical plane. Among the Pythagoreans, odd numbers were connected with the major deities, while even numbers were assigned to the inferior and terrestrial gods. In the I Ching, an ancient Chinese book on symbolism referring to cosmogony and man and to the purposes of life, the initial symbols used are yang, male, and yin, female. Yang is associated with heaven, the sun, light, and odd numbers, while yin is associated with the moon, the earth, darkness, and even numbers. Odd numbers are considered sacred because when we attempt to divide them into equal parts, they leave the monad or the one God standing unaffected between them. Thus, 3 is equal to 1 plus 1 plus 1, 5 equals 2 plus 1 plus 2, 7 equals 3 plus 1 plus 3, etc. Thus they reveal the Supreme Deity in the midst of his works. Even numbers are those which can be divided into two equal parts without revealing the one God in their midst. When odd numbers are divided, one part will always be odd, representing the divine, and one even, representing the manifestation of the divine, i.e., 7 is equal to 3, the divine, plus 4, the mundane. The most potent odd numbers are composed of trinities, each of which is odd. Thus, 3 is equal to 3 times 1, 9 is equal to 3 times 3, 15 is equal to 3 times 5, 21 is equal to 3 times 7, 27 is equal to 3 times 9, etc. While even numbers can always be measured by the pairs of opposites, they can also be separated, except 2, which is simply two unities, into 2 equal and 2 or more unequal parts. Thus, 10 equals 5 plus 5, also 1 plus 9, 3 plus 7, 2 plus 8. Even numbers whose equal divisions can be further divided into equal parts are called evenly even. For example, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, etc. Those even numbers whose equal divisions cannot be further divided into equal parts are called evenly odd. For example, 6, 10, 14, 28, 56, etc. We now come to the consideration of the first Sapphira, or the number 1, the monad of Pythagoras. In this number are the other 9 hidden. It is indivisible. It is also incapable of multiplication. Divide 1 by itself and it still remains 1. Multiply 1 by itself and it is still 1 and unchanged. Thus it is a fitting representative of the great unchangeable Father of all. Number 1 is the symbol of unity, indivisibility, individuality. It is that which is born from spirit, the dot, and is therefore divine. For God is superlative in his unity, There is none equal unto him. What number canst thou place before one? It is primordial substance undifferentiated, also cosmic ideation. Since one stands by itself and is indivisible, it is considered no number, but represents perfection, harmony, order, good, and God. It is the only number that does not have one aspect above or pertaining to the heavens and one lower pertaining to the earth. It symbolizes the deity descending to earth in an undifferentiated state, the one God, without attributes. It also symbolizes the descent of the light when, at the beginning of the cycle of manifestation of this system, the first day of creation, the gods, the sevenfold Elohim, said, "Let there be light," and the dot within the circle sent forth its ray to manifest in matter. It is the descent of the creative aspect of the one life, the Christ power, into chaos that chaos might become cosmos, evolve, and be redeemed. Number one represents the principle of unity which underlies all numbers. By multiplication it creates all others, but multiplied by itself to infinity it always retains its unity. Since it is the first manifestation of the unmanifested, one represents the unity of all forms of life in the one life, or the brotherhood of man and nature. This is the mathematical basis for what we have said elsewhere. All life comes from the one life of the Absolute and normally should evolve back to God in perfect purity and harmony. As all souls are but differing expressions of the one life, each must bring back into the one life a special experience. Unity does not mean an everlasting recurrence of one experience for all, but all experiences in the one. As each different part of the body has its own function, the experience of which is subject to and is registered in the brain, the sum total of the experiences of all organs and parts being necessary to complete a man, so are all soul experiences comprised in the one life. It is unity but not uniformity. The number one also symbolizes Adam Kadmon, the first man. Since man is the only erect animal, the only one whose spinal column is vertical instead of horizontal, one symbolizes man's power to stand erect, also his uprightness of both body and character. It also symbolizes the straight and narrow path which the personality must follow to reach the divine or Christ consciousness. It is the line of spiritual aspiration which must ascend from the heart of man to unite the human with the divine. It is the line whose continuation unites the personality, the little I, with the higher self, the D, to form the real self, the silver thread which unites us with the Master, the unity of man with God, the capital I which can stand alone. Jesus expressed this same idea when he said, "I and my Father are one." Script letters are symbols which have been so modified by modern ideas that they have little occult significance, yet they do express the idea of dependence one upon the other, a late development of tribal and community life. So, to merge the little I into the I, we must learn to stand alone, for the I could never become the I until it had ceased to depend on others for its meaning. As the personality learns to stand alone and ascend the straight and narrow path and merges into the overshadowing, the dot spreads out as sheltering wings above, fills out and enlarges, and also makes a firm foundation below, thus I. When the little I has reached up to the dot in the center of its orbit, has become the I, and is able to stand alone in the presence of the Master, it must then do the works of its Father in heaven or continue the extension of the path in the higher realms and complete the diameter of the circle thus. Number one also symbolizes the magic wand with which the magician performs his great work. Among man's 7 principles, 1 represents Atma, the ray from the divine, 1 with the Father, through which man becomes 1 with the All. Like the O, number 1 is a natural geometric figure. 4. Using our previous symbol of the sphere, if any line of force, either from within or from without, acts upon it, it will begin to revolve and thus generate an axis, or the vertical line which bisects the circle, forming the figure 1. Therefore no other figure could be the first of the numerical system, for 1 is the figure generated by the first manifestation of motion in the cosmos. 1 is positive and masculine in its characteristics, as it is the outgoing ray of the divine proceeding from the negative or subjective into the positive or objective life. This symbolism of the number 1 is confirmed in nature. In animal life we find in the developing egg a straight line, called the primitive streak, as the first positive sign of the character of the future form and the forerunner of the spinal column, the positive, supporting factor that enables it to stand erect. In vegetable life we find that out of the heart of the seed, within the encircling husk, the first manifestation of life causes a sprout to shoot upward and a taproot downward, as the positive and negative expressions of the dot. These burst the shell or husk and form a straight vertical line which bisects the seed and enables the plant to stand alone as an independent manifesting individual or 1. Whenever your attention is called to the number 1, let it remind you of the one God, the one life, the oneness of mankind or the brotherhood of man, the power of selfhood, of self-reliance, dignity, rulership, the wand of the magician, the rod of power, the power to bring forth the self from the divine, within, through the all-embracing power of the circle. Let it remind you of the unity of nature, man and God, the union of the human with the divine through the following of the straight and narrow path upward until the personality is merged into the Father in heaven, and you can say with Jesus, I and my Father are one.